My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big, beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Additionally, it's time for the return of the referral code. If you're new here and you're just getting into the game, you've got to make an account on the Universe's gaming network. When you're signing up, you can use my exclusive referral code Alliteration to let Jasco know that I brought you on board, which directly supports me and my work. Having an account on the UGN site is going to allow you to sign up for tournaments, participate in events, locate stores that support the game near you, and much, much more. Playing in events and or mailing in pack wrappers is actually going to accrue loyalty points onto your account, which you'll then be able to redeem for exclusive promo cards in the mail for absolutely free. An account on here is an integral part of playing this game, so make sure you sign up and you use my code Alliteration to help me continue doing what I love. I would really appreciate the support. You guys absolutely killed it on the last one with all of the signups, and I am really excited to run it back with you all. Now, let's get on to the video. Welcome, my dear viewers, to another Alliteration gaming video. My name is Levi, and today we're going to be doing another build-a-deck. This time, one of my Patrons, Ylissean, has delivered unto me an Ochaco II list that seeks to combine some massive, chunky, big damage dunk moves on the air symbol in tandem with the new one-check from set 4, the League of Villains, Warp Gate Portal, to create some devastating turn cycles of attacks to race its way to victory. Now, this is a deck with a very established concept and some pretty strict deck building rules based on our one checks. So we're going to jump right in and just see how I can refine this deck a little bit, identify some weak links, and trim it down to perfection. All right, so honestly, just hit me with it. What is this deck supposed to be doing? What is the goal here? How can we turn our memes into dreams right here, right now?
Warp Gate Portal.
Yes, there it is.
Ochaco II. That's the entire pitch.
There it is. There it is, boys. Warp Gate Portal. So obviously the stack goes hard, right? It's got a one check. It goes hard. Our next form is anything we want from our deck on a 5 mid for 5 with a +0 mid block, and that's pretty freaking cool. What are we trying to search?
What do we need?
Yeah, I like it. Can they block a 5 speed indiscriminate? Nope. There it is. Can they block a 5 speed pillar swing? Nope. There it is. Did they block the Warp Gate Portal? Well, here's the Jolt, so we instantly get our character online. Cat Pounce is our backup Warp Gate Portal, if you will. I'm into it. As far as, so I guess, what do you attack-wise, right? What do you feel like is lacking, if anything, in this deck? Because I obviously have a lot of ideas down here for what could be some really gnarly attacks. Do you feel like you're missing anything at the moment?
Cat Pounce was very underperforming. It was a cute idea, but it hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, obviously, like, if it grabs a Warp Gate Portal, you know, 1 5 diff and then 1 6 diff later, we can find some value in this, but it seems like a bit of a stretch when this could just be, like, more targets for Warp Gate Portal to grab, right?
Right, and the other thing is, like, it has stun 1, so it does help the indiscriminate shock plan, but it doesn't do it very well.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
And I mean, we're the air symbol. If we want stun 1, we can definitely go find it elsewhere.
Oh yeah,
we can definitely go find it elsewhere. So I have a couple ideas down here, quite a handful of them, and they kind of just go between the ideas of either like another good tempo attack or what I think could be like a sick one of for Warp Gate to search. And that's kind of where things like Airstream, Extendo Hair, and Blitz Rush come in. Because I think the idea of like, oh, okay, cool, you blocked my Warp Gate portal, now I'll search this Airstream driver, and it's going to be an 8 high for 9, right?
Right.
I think that's kind of cool. Alternatively, once we hit 1,000,000 foundations, if we ever get that late in the game, right, we can just go search our Extendo Hair, and then probably pick our cards up for game 2. And then if we ever just have like even a couple momentum and we just don't think they can, if they are in a position where they can't block a 6 high post stun 1, Blitz Rush is just 1,000,000 damage 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Blitz Rush is kind of out because I do want to go heavy on the Pillar Swing. I love Pillar Swing. I think it does really funny things in this specific deck, and I don't know if I want to run more 6 diffs when I'm playing a 1-check.
Yeah, okay, I'm into it. I am into that. Let's look at these other 3 for a little bit. So I have Dark Interruption, Dignified Display, and Specialized Sound Waves here. It's like, okay, if we're running 1s, our deck is already, if our deck is built to handle 1s, which it is so far, right, then it's definitely built to handle 2s. So I think Sound Waves could be like if you're looking to get that interaction of these are my backup Warp Gate portals in Cat Pounce to go grab something from the discard pile, Sound Waves kind of just does that a lot better, does it not?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Alternatively, we could also just go Dignified Display to just B2 attacks. We also don't get to put speed on it though, because it's a flash. I mean, same thing for Sound Waves, but Sound Waves kind of does a lot more, so it's probably okay. And then Dark Interruption, I think, is just kind of cool as a cantrip that also lets us like set up our next check. It's a little taxing as a 5-hander, but at the very worst, like it does replace the card you discard, or you could also just like not use the bottom enhance.
Yeah, or I can declare the bottom enhance and still not discard from the hand. It says you may, so. Yeah,
like that, you might very well just like declare that enhance, and they're like, okay, well, I guess I got to take this one because they're definitely playing the next move. They take this, you bounce it, and then you can just play whatever you want because you have +2 to your check now, and you don't even have to discard.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool. It kind of just depends, like, are you really attached to, like, I get to go find more things out of my discard pile, or do we just kind of want another, like, flow card?
I definitely think flow is the answer. I think Cat Pounce is just gone. Like I said, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I think any of these 3 would be a solid replacement for it in some, or even like a 2 of one of these, and then we can put in like our 1 of Airstream and 1 of Extendo Hair.
I think that's actually where I was kind of going, was the 2 of Specialized and then 2 of Airstream. I'm never getting into late game with this deck. I'm either dead or you're dead. Okay,
that's fair. Yeah, Extendo Hair does start very fast and very small, which is not exactly what we want.
No.
I like our base 6, and I mean, if we're going Find It, it's because they blocked. So realistically, let's say it's our base 9 on Airstream.
Right.
And then that kind of keeps like, that too also keeps like bomb wise, our zones are now really hard to play around, right? You got to save a low for this bomb, you got to save a high for this bomb, and a mid for this bomb. Hella annoying. Hella annoying. I hate that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, so.
Yeah, that's super cool. I like that a lot. Now this is a pretty tight deck, right? We're at what, 58 cards, so it's pretty tight. I don't know if we have like a ton of, you know, alleviation for things like actions and assets, but how do you feel about Seizing the Advantage?
5-hander, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought process too. Is like, you know, it's going to hinder our builds a lot, especially in the early game. But man, just the ability to go like seizing into like anything that we want to open with. I mean, everything's already at +2 speed. It like almost guarantees the first one hitting early game. I don't know. Do you find that like your rival's board is hindering you a lot too? Because that's like the other big part of seizing, right? Is the flip. You know, do you feel like your rival's board is stopping you from doing what you want very much? Are you craving that level of interaction there?
Not really, and so part of the reason for that is that, like, most of the interaction that I'm gonna get is speed negate, right? Because I'm already giving +2 speed, so it's like, well, it's nice, I have options for the speed, like Warp Gate Portal gets any attack, you know? Like, if you neg the speed on Warp Gate Portal, good for you, I guess. I'm still grabbing what I want. It has no condition for the surge. And then if you block it, like, congrats, I got Airstream Driver now, you know?
Yeah, yeah. We also get to seal something with Airstream Driver if we are packing any momentum.
Right. So it's like,
cool.
so like it hinders the blocks, it hinders the builds potentially. It's still a three difficulty when I'm playing one checks. It also adds one to the adds one to progressive difficulty with one checks. It just like it's a very good card. Not here.
Yeah, yeah. If we like open seizing, check a 1 or a 2, we're probably like not even allowed to play our move anymore, huh?
Right, exactly. And it's like, or if we play the seizing and then check a 1 or 2 on the attack, it's like, well, now I just feel even worse, you know?
Yeah, that is kind of stinky. Something I was also looking at, and back when the cap pounces were in it, I felt like it wasn't super valued because we had so many non-charges in tandem with the Warp Gate portal. But do you think a 1 or 2 of Earphone Jack would be cool?
An Earphone Jack might not be too bad.
I kind of don't hate it. All our moves are 3 speed now.
Actually, thinking on it, like, I don't have cat bounce. I might, if we want another dunk, we can just do Home Run Comet.
Yeah, we could just do Home Run Comet. I don't hate that. We're all charge or highs except for this thing right here. Yeah, I don't know. I think if we really wanted like more damage, I think I'd probably just rather play like a 4th pillar or maybe like another Airstream Driver.
Yeah.
I feel like Home Run has to work a bit too hard to get big in this deck. I mean, we get to put speed on it, which like is great, but I do think it has to work quite a bit. Like obviously, like in a world where like they take our Warp Gate portal, right? We get to bounce it, then we go play our next one, and we only play charges from there on out. Like that does seem cool, but it does seem a little. It seems like there's easier ways to get like 10 damage in this deck.
No, you're right. You're right. I was just kind of spitballing an idea.
Yeah, I don't hate it. And also, 1 or 2 Earphone Jacks would pump our highs up a little bit. I mean, probably not too sweating like blocking because like we're Ochaco II.
Yeah, 33 life is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, we're blocking like one thing and then saying do you got it or do you not? So probably not too sweating our block zones. But let's toss that 1 of Earphone in there.
No, I think a 1-up is actually like really good because most of the things get speed, so then they're all 3 speed. If you're stacking your deck for whatever reason, well, now you're not. And I also get a re-ready when I deal damage, which I want to do, especially with jolts, and that can go a long way when I'm running 1 and 2 checks. Yeah,
the guaranteed re-ready off of Jolt is very, very nice. I think another really, really, like, if we want to be a math nerd for a second, when we think about Ochaco II with Indiscriminate, right, we make it a 5 low. If they have nothing in their card pool and they're committed out, that is blockable with a 1 low block, check a 5, commit your character, right? Earphone Jack, we have negated that math now.
Yeah.
You can have taken everything. You can have been the best player in the world and said, I will not die to 1.3. Take every single attack, never block anything, never put a thing in your pool, let yourself get stunned out, hold on to your 1 low, and then I say, hey, this is 6 speed now. You can't block on a 6 anymore. You're like, oh, well, there it is, boys.
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool. Let's look at our foundations. Now the foundations are pretty set in their ways because like we're jamming 1s and we're deck building properly. So we're just gonna play every single spam in the world. And it was really funny. I looked at this deck when you first sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, if there were like 3 different 2 diffs we were gonna play in our deck, these are probably the 3 that I pick. Then I noticed they were all 1-ups, and I was like, holy cow, we're super committed.
So actually speaking of, I think I do want to up first day of class.
Yeah.
I think it's just too valuable because, oh, you blocked my Warp Gate portal, I'm still getting a +2 to my check.
I think considering like if they block our first one, it just lets us still play our next move on like a 5 or a 6, right?
Right.
And actually make that a 3 or a 4 within the grand scheme of the maths. I don't know how into the web of blades I am. I think this card is just a really, really cool 1-of, so like I'm not hating it. I guess, is there a number in your head of 2 difficulty foundations that you're like maximum comfortable playing with the 1 checks in your deck?
Probably 5. Like 5 total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like, realistically, like I'm swinging every turn if I can, but I'm not going for the kill every turn. So there will be times where I still want to build like a specialist of sound, or like in your side, like maybe a decoy duplicate. I don't think I'll do decoy duplicate. I just was throwing an example because I one thing I do value about this deck is how sticky it is.
Yeah.
Most of the destroy foundation effects are either desperation or utility, like feel and cue or release. You know.
They're ones much more along the lines of I'm playing this because it wins me the game or because it makes me not lose the game.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we definitely want our board to stay around as a 5-hander. Not very interested in debuilding myself. You know what's something cool that we can do, right? Is, so let's say the number you spat out, 5, right? We put this to a 3 of, and we've got 5 in there now, and then we can just do this. Look, beep. Is there a 2 diff? Okay, well, this hand sucks. But beep, beep, this is great. Beep, this is great. Beep, this is great. Beep, this is great. You know, because, like, basically the only time we don't really want to open a 2 diff is when we're going first. Because if we jam on a 2 as our first one and check a 1, we threw. we threw.
Right, absolutely. So if I were to redo the foundations with the 2s, I would definitely just cut Web of Blaze and just do 2 specialist 3 first day, because having -3 on a commit 3 times is very valuable.
Yeah, no, I think, like, because, like, pretty much the peak of this character is you probably get, like, 2 blocks off, right? That's pretty much your peak. So if both of them have -3 speed, that's, like, super fine. That pretty much just says, yeah, I get to get my 2 blocks off, and you can't really threaten me past that.
Right. No, absolutely. I think that's basically kind of it. Like, most of the other cards, they're hard to shake. Maybe not successful results out of 4 of, but, like, what do you replace it with?
Yeah, I literally looked up air spams, and basically the only one, like, not really in our deck is Infinite Potential, which we're more low on high blocks. That card doesn't actually help us out very much, even as a high block. And Cool and Tough, which we're not super worried about a deadlock enhance or, like, protecting momentum very much. Nor do we really need, like, more mid blocks. I mean, I think you could mess around with those numbers either way, but at that point, 4 successful results just seems fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it. If anything, maybe, like, a 4th feeling cute could be better than the 4th successful results. Like, we could do that.
I think we would do 2 successful and then 3 destined, 3 feeling cute. 4 destined, 4 feeling cute.
We sure do only have a couple destined for mainstream, a few destined for mainstream success in our deck. Now we got 4.
Right.
If Endanger was, like, not a bottom of the barrel card, I would totally jam more of it, but I think 2 of it is, like, super fine. 4 Arrogant because it checks a 6, 4 Destined because it's Destined, 4 of this because it's a 1 low block that lets us just be super greedy. And do we have a target to? Ooh, we do get to pick up 1.3s and sound waves in Deadlock.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get there super often, but we do.
No, and because cards do leave my card pool, my character does say that, you know.
That is pretty nice. That is pretty nice. I don't hate it. And then 4 Happy-Go-Lucky is cool. I think if you ever wanted to play, like, more 2 diffs in this deck, I think, like, the 3 I've got here are super okay. But honestly, if you're saying that, like, you have not been sweating what your rival's board is threatening you with, Shock Treatment and Taiyaki, or probably just more sideboard cards at that point for you.
Yeah, I definitely think Shock Treatment is a sideboard card because I do get momentum, and it is another jolt, essentially.
It is.
But like I said, I value the sticky part of my board. Let me double check 2 difficulty.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything else that seemed super attractive. It was, more stuff like Wall Cling, Wealthy Aspirations, Charged Up, which, like, again, we're not super sweating blocking, so Wall Cling is Momentum is not, like, a massive resource to us. Like, it's pretty much, just for things like sound waves, and at that point, you really only need, like, 1 momentum max. I mean, if you want to use the seal on Airstream, like, really, really wildly, we have, like, very, very efficient momentum usage. So I don't think that cards like that could really pull a ton of weight in our deck. At least not any more than like these two cards do right here, Specialist and First Day. Like these are just kind of the two diffs that we want.
Yeah, I just did a run through and it's like none of these actually do anything that help me.
Yeah, these are, I think, like just speed reduction and then check bonuses are just like the generic things that we want our deck to do. And then if we're fighting stuff that like they have really annoying like control pieces on their board, Shock Treatment and Taiyaki could come in. If they're really like dedicated to one attack type of decks, Decoy Duplicate is just the best. Like, hey, I'm Ochaco II, I get to threaten the life out of you every turn, and if you try to backswing me with some really big bomb, you just don't get to because this is sitting on my board. But like only against decks that like obviously want to do that, right?
Right. The other options I'm thinking are Encouragement and Latent Skill, because Latent Skill just says draw 2, assuming they don't have to cancel, and Encouragement does somewhat help the game plan, because I don't want... Well, then again, it doesn't really, because if you're not blocking my attack, I'm already picking it up with Ochaco, so never mind.
Yeah, I think Encouragement is like, hey, if you decide to take 2 attacks from me this turn, it's pretty cool, right? But aside from that, don't think it pulls that much weight. I guess like it could be cool in a world where like, you know, we use First Day, they take our first one, and now you're just like, well, I don't need +4 to my check, so you like don't use Ochaco and you use Encouragement instead. But that's like super duper fringe, you know?
Right, and I did actually think about that, but it's like, if I'm using First Day, then I'm probably not using Ochaco anyway. You know?
Yeah, and at that point, you just don't even super care about an interaction like that. You know, it's very win more. I do think you could make an argument for latent skill if you're just like, man, we actually only need to block one thing a turn. Ochaco is enough. Maybe the specialist could be latent skill.
Yeah, that might not be bad as a one of latent skill for the specialist slot.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that just as an idea. It also gives you another like little high block in your deck because like we don't super care because we are Ochaco II. We are the Yahtzee master.
Yeah.
but still, you know, there's some scary high attacks out there. There's pretty scary high attacks out there.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good. I think that would be a good compromise as a latent skill. What do I need 3 for? 3 -3 speeds.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, hey, if I get to see this, it's cool. Otherwise, you know, one -3 speed is enough to, you know, unless you're like in like, you know, really late game scenarios. But for the most part, your character just doesn't really have the cards to be blocking more than one thing a turn.
Right, exactly.
It is much more of a late game area. Although, I mean, Warp Gate is a +1. It is a +1.
Warp Gate sure is a +1.
It sure is a +1.
But yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think this is super duper sick. I didn't foresee us having like a ridiculous amount of stuff to talk about with this deck because it's pretty clear that you're like, hey, this is my focus. My focus is non-negotiable. Let's just kind of like pad it out a little bit and identify, you know, a weak link here or there. And that's going to be it for our Ochaco II Warp Gate Portal deck. Again, big thanks to Ylissean for letting me help them work on this deck and for supporting me and my content.
Thank you very much.
Big thanks to you guys for watching as well and making it all the way to the end of this video. If you want to leave it some feedback down below, I would really appreciate that via the like button or the comment button. And if you want some more content like this, the subscribe button and even the join button to become a channel member is what you want to hit. And if you want to be like Ylissean and support me and the content that I do and also garner some really interactive one-on-one experiences with me or just in general have some impact on the type of content I do, commission some videos from me, all kinds of options for that are going to be linked down below in the Patreon in both the pinned comments and the description. I would love if you checked those out. Above all else though, thanks so much just for making it to the end of this video. I also really appreciate that, and I hope I can see you in tomorrow's video.